about the family genetics and the studies that correlate with the family genetics. The study of family genetics helps to know about the genetic behavior. Firstly. Secondly, it helps to know how diseases run in a family. Thirdly, it gives a brief information about pattern of genetic information that run in a particular line of families, a pattern of individuals who are brought after using reformed methodologies in transformation or alternation of additional DNA structures through psychological impressions and alternative medical therapies which mold themselves as DNA patterns in due course of time. It also gives a scope to understand the distinct genetic behavior and variation that occurrences among plants, animals and humans. Fifthly, it briefly discusses about the biogenetics and population genetics. And it helps to know the role of genetics in human life cycles, the role of environment in molding one's life. So let us briefly know what are these points. The genetic behavior. What is genetic behavior? If we observe through an experimental institute, if we take 2 or 3 children of distant races or families, especially we can observe in schools and other educational institutions, a child doesn't want his clothes to be dirt. He tries to find neat place and sits in a chair which is neat and clean. If the child doesn't want, if he observes there is not such as there is a clumsy thing, he will not sit and he will be standing all the time. At the same time, you may see other children, they don't have idea of it. They suddenly go and play in the mud, they play in the water, they drench themselves, and they come back to our home with the drenched clothes. Thirdly, you may see a children who may be playing, they will be tearing themselves, and they completely come in a form which we doesn't think upon. So in neatness, let us take principles like neatness, or aversions, or likes, or dislikes towards an environment or a thing. We can't explain our likes and dislikes towards a thing. If somebody asks you or me, why you like such thing? Why does I like only that particular type of food? Or why I like that particular type of environment? Or why I like that particular type of persons? Few of things can be answered through our experience. It means through our experience or through our study, we may learn some things, so that because of it, we try to like it. But when we are children, when you observe children, when they have been learning, still doesn't have knowledge, but still they do have some likes and dislikes as an instance, as instinctual behavior. Instance means as a reflex of actions towards an environment or a thing. Some people like darkness, some people fear of darkness. Some people fear of animals, some people are fond of animals. Why? Some people are allergic to environment, some people are not allergic to environment, particular environment. Even though they doesn't have idea about it briefly, but still they exhibit their instinctual behavior towards an environment, towards a person, towards a thing. Even we observe, if we observe ourselves, even psychologically, we may like few colors, few things. We never think why we are like this. We always try to find an environment which we like and which we are fond of, and we want to suit or to attract to that particular environment. Unless we find it is particular or compulsory, we try to avoid unpleasant environment that we feel to our psychology or nature. But as itself, there is nothing as there are only persons and things and behavior, but the fraction of liking or dislike or attraction or repulsion depends upon each human being. We all know it. So this few of the experiences which we like or which we know, we can correlate with our past experiences. But there are some experiences in us which are hidden. We do not know that we are like that, because it's called the instinctual behavior or genetic behavior. If my father is a musician, or he may be a scientist, if the child of that father doesn't have time to train the child in music or in science, if he may be personally interested in some business management or other parts of study, over a period of time the child attracts to music, or he does work, or he tries to do business in relation to music or science. Why? He finds an instinctual like in him. When he tries to develop, the child can develop music much faster than the father has learned. The rate of learning will be hastened in the children if the father of the parents, or if in the family there is an observation or practice of music. So there are particular professions, there are families who practice particular professions in their life. So these professions, these families who practice particular professions through generations, the children of that family will be inherited, and they find an inherent attraction, an easy adaptation to that particular profession or environment. We find in some people, they may be they may have a repulsive nature towards patients. For children born to that particular doctor families or medical service families, they try to they want to serve the public. So the patient doesn't have an attraction or repulsion. It is the person who sees or attends the patient will have that particular nature. I am just giving few examples. It doesn't mean anyone, or I doesn't try to point out anyone. It's the innate nature in us that we try to find few things and dislike few things. So this is called the genetic behavior, which forms as an instinctual behavior in us that run in a family. So this genetic behavior, it reflects in our food and diet. It reflects in our likes and dislikes to environment. Through an intellectual property, or particular types of studies, I mean it, and the physical structure, and fifthly, the ambitions in one's life. There may be an innate ambition for a parent. He may not express in their life because life doesn't give everyone an opportunity, because life itself is something, a different thing. Everyone cannot achieve their goals because according to their course of life. But some parents may have some innate nature and their children are achieving the goals of that parents even though the parents doesn't express themselves. We have in our experimental procedures, because we are practicing homeopathy, we are practicing astrology, and we are practicing psychology, and we have a much branch of experiences. We have much experiences in various branches of learning. We have been attending patients and clients day to day. We have been observing according to our experimental procedures. In one experimental case, we have observed a father was a tahsildar of a particular city. He died when the child was young. The child doesn't know the administration studies, all these things. He studied his engineering and then he found a job. He started working. Suddenly he was found of, I want to study group exams. Suddenly he studied, he have achieved the mark. While doing job, he have studied simultaneously, and at his 38th year, he has joined in the same seat his father was doing service. Many of the people of the family forgot him because he was a child. So again when he joined in the same seat, then he found and correlating experiences, and he started administration exactly as his father. The colleagues of his father, senior family members of the group was narrating him to about his father's experiences with him. Why he have changed his job? He settled well in a family, he is doing something. But there are few things to which we get attracted. Or it may be a business, or a music, or art, or some startup study, the ambitions. And similarly, we have a father was a social worker. He started a charitable organization, started working for the welfare of people. And he had a child who has studied as engineering, computers, and had went to US and settled there. There he started an NGO and he was doing the same service as his father was doing. He does not know what his father was doing because his charitable trust was secret and silent. But unknowingly, he was also into the same profession after few years of his settlement in his profession. So there are people, there are examples in life where the parental goals or the family goals reflect as ambitions in one's family. If one knowingly wills to have that ambition, it is also correct. But unknowingly, one gets attracted to the same ambitions. So it is a reflection of a genetic behavior. So such deep is our genetic behavior. It does not reflect to the children all the time, because we have seen a parent or a father who is a drunkard and his child was aversion to drink. So that doesn't mean at all the time the genetic trait, but to his sister's son or to his father's son or a third generation or a grandson again may fond of drinking. But sometimes it reflects to generations, but seeds of behavior will always reflect. And this is called a brief idea of your genetic behavior. And secondly, the diseases that run in a family. Genetical diseases, especially if you observe people living, now people are migrating from villages to cities and cities to urban cities, metropolitan cities and international cities. Now globalization is going on, people are migrating. Generally, a diseases comes according to the environment in which the parent lives or the family lives, according to his food, according to his environment, according to his mental tensions, according to his physical strain and his innate nature. These 5 factors reflect one's health. And health is of 3 types. We know: physical health, emotional health, and mental health. So the health also reflects in 5 manners, in these 5 points. So there are diseases in a family. If a father was a smoker, if a father was a drinker, or if he is working in coal mines, his lungs are prone to disease state because of continuous consumption of the elements which disturb the health. Though the son of the father will have a lungs prone to diseases of lung diseases like pneumonia, asthma, but similar you all know. So the child of that parent will have a lungs prone to disease state because his father's behavior will reflect in child's. If child also practices or works in the same professions or he practices of such habits, then the grandchild lungs will be much weaker. So this lung diseases then start and they run in a family. Although the 3rd or 4th generation, they get alert and they behave in a nice way also. But the lungs are again prone to a diseased state. So any exposure to wild environment, the child gets diseased easily. So this is how a particular organ in a body or particular mentality or particular environment or particular food or particular emotion disturbs health in a family. You see a few families who are having much anger. You see few families having much some stomach disorders. Like we all know, because this is how the diseases start running in a family. We have to observe all these things before we are having a child. So we should correct our health. We should separate our emotions. We should separate our everything. It doesn't mean that everyone can be perfect, but according to our knowledge, we should take care of our health as much as possible, because we are giving a generation a new platform of a body with which he works and lives. So how careful that we should be in giving a new generation a new body. Thirdly, it's called the distinctual genetic behavior and variation that occurs among plants and animals and humans. So you see, now with the advancement of science and technology, we are getting hybridized plants. Now animals are also being hybridized. New animals are being cloned and crossed and being born. And human beings are different races or different sects are getting married. A new blend of humanity is coming down. So this creates a genetic variability. It creates a new genetic platform which help bring a change in overall genetic constitution. Previously in German and other countries, there are studies where people of different intellectual properties are having intellectual assets or particular quality in their family, they are selected and they are bred to have a perfect generation. Especially it was done in armies to have a perfect soldiers. As if it is will of the individual, then it would be no problem. If it is forceful, then it's a crime. So, having a new blend of humanity is always an adaptive feature for the nature. The nature always try to give new things. Now new generation is coming down, have new qualities, have new enthusiasm, have new energy, because various sects of humanity are, because everybody are being educated, literate, being civilized, and we are educating our children. Now the rate of intellectual property of every man is getting increased, and the rate of awareness towards the world is also increasing. So the new race of humanity, now we are getting more sharp and more advanced. So we should be also godful in selecting individuals to have a good children. So we should rectify our family health before we get into marriage, because a marriage is like something, it's not our, like bringing a new generation. So before getting into marriage, let us have a family health checkup, let us have general health checkup, let us rectify our diseases slowly. So before entering into marriage, so let us enter in with the perfect health. And this is how the studies of genetics helps in social living in advanced countries. Now, with the aid of, now the knowledge is being used, because with the availability of knowledge through internet, now everybody are learning, they are being educated. So now these principles are also being adopted in almost every part of the country, every part of the states. Almost it's reaching everyone. So this is a brief introduction about family genetics. Now we will discuss the sixth point, the biogenetics and population genetics. Population genetics, the genetic variability of a population that live in a village, that live in a city, that live in a country differ, because the environment of the country or the climatic conditions, the food, the diet, the physical structure of particular states or regions that live in a particular groups or communities differ, because people are grouping. So now population genetics deals with the genetic heritability and genetic variability of a race that will be observed by people living in different parts of the world. Every group or every country have their own genetic constitution. Now people are migrating to many parts of the world. They are intermingling. Or one race is entering into other race with either due to a professional or education. We are migrating to other parts of the world and we are studying. And the adaptability of the human constitution is increasing, because we are trying to adapt to the new environment. The genetic variability is also trying to adapt to the new environment, with the new food, and people are settling in different parts of the world. So now, what is happening? A new genetic constitution or adaptability is increasing, where people surviving in other countries, born in one country and are settling in another country, and they are having their children in another part of the world. So different genetic makeup was built in the child. So he can adapt both the native and the post-native environment, and his adaptive capacity increases, his immunity increases, and intellectual faculty increases, his linguistic capability, social communication skills, educational expansion, everything is increasing. This is how the humanity is expanding. According to the words of our masters, of our gurus, of spiritual gurus, through which we have trained, we call, according to the words of Master CBB and Master EK, and they are the spiritual gurus of the new age. That's what we have been taught. They said the Aquarian age is an age of expansion, through science, intellect and spiritualism. They have said in their books, in their paths of yoga, a man will be a world citizen. Now a man is a citizen of a particular nation. The acquiring age is trained, when it is trained to establish itself, a man will be a world citizen. And if you can observe any part of the world, people belonging to any part of the world will have the same type of community or group. Now we are seeing with our own eyes. In any part of the world you go, you are seeing all types of people living there. The same environment is being observed in any part of the world. Slowly it is being adopted. So, the genetic constitution of the families is changing and variability is increasing. So this is an innate part and plan of the nature, because nature always tries to evolve beings, evolve with time, evolve every day. The time is spiral, time is an evolutionary matrix, and the nature is also an evolutionary matrix. Nature tries to evolve beings in the coils of time and in the spaces, and it evolves beings day to day. Although you see the same day or same sunrise, and today's sunrise is something different from tomorrow's sunrise. Even if you have a brief study of astronomical and astrological studies, they do say the planetary aspects or planetary angles differ from each day to day. Even the planets change, the time change. So we have to change, and we are changing. Now we are entering the new era. It's called the age of science and spiritualism. So this gives an expansion of our genetic constitution. It gives an expansion of our thinking, an expansion of our communication with other brothers. Previously, if we found a persons with different races, we used to wonder, oh, these people are completely different from us, or where from they have gone. Now, people are not feeling the distinctual races. They are studying together, living together, working together. Now they are able to understand, they are exchanging the informations of between different races. The gap between the two nations or two countries is reducing with the advancement of science and technology. So also a new genetic constitution and blend is being started, which brings new advanced children onto the earth to understand the spiritual principles in the scientific mode of life. So with this aspect, we have started our research and interdisciplinary study, that what we are making through our societies. There are many societies like us who are working day and night in giving and despairing out the spiritual and the secret knowledge of the world, in making the below, in more giving the below other people to live better, with a better thought of life. So here I thank every doctor, every scientist, every philosopher, every musician, every artist who have been working with us day and night and bringing out these studies and research of interdisciplinary. If they don't help us, we wouldn't make such progress. Interdisciplinary study always gives a scope to have a better study, to have it may be opening a new scope of subject. If you see 100 years back, we have chemistry and biology, but we don't have biochemistry. Now new subjects of learning are coming, like biochemistries, astrobiology, astrogenetics, medical biotechnologies. These new types of studies, how they are coming, which can interdisciplinary research. We thank all professors, all scientists and doctors who have been doing research continuously day and night, and giving us new subjects of learning to have a better understanding of human life. This all we learn in societies and in colleges and universities, and we make paper publications. But we have to give this information to the common man also. So it is the ambition of our chairman and of our esteemed professors and of our group from few years, which made us possible to stand before you and to give you a solution through interdisciplinary research and study. Let us thank all the fathers of knowledge, fathers of wisdom have been discovering knowledge. Let us enter into the first chapter, the role of genetics in human life.